The problem with you Russians is that you think you're immune.
You! Tell me who you're looking for! Who are you?
Your executioner. Then I guess today's your lucky day.
It's good to see you. Bring back memories.
I agree.
What kind of work you've been doing?
Surviving?
Yes. You married?
Was.
Was. How many children you have? I won't guess. Yes?
Yeah.
Maybe you have a girl. You name her Taylor. You can't fly that close to the sun and not have your wings melt. Icarus. You should have stayed with me when I bring you to America. Take him away.
До свидания.
So where are you gonna kill me?
Find out what's going on.
До свидания.
The story begins with Edward Gen, a former KGB sleeper agent who remained in America after the collapse of the Soviet Union. To survive financially and maintain his cover, he operates under the codename Icarus, working as a highly skilled contract killer for a powerful Russian organized crime syndicate.
Icarus, it's Turkey.
Yeah.
There's a property in Hong Kong needs an appraisal.
Can I wait?
No,
Blueprints?
at the office.
He soon receives a phone call from his handler, Serge, who gives him an assignment to eliminate a rival Chinese mafia gang in Hong Kong. Serge gives him strict orders to leave no one alive.
Icarus
Yeah.
is a foreclosure.
Following these instructions, Edward arrives in Hong Kong and tracks down the rival gang, discovering them in the middle of torturing a Russian man whom they suspect of being a mole.
The problem with you Russians is that you think you're immune.
You!
Edward quickly ambushes the security guards outside before entering the apartment. Inside, he efficiently wipes out the entire security detail and kills the leader of the Chinese mafia gang.
Who are you?
Your executioner. What's your name?
Only
However, instead of following cold-blooded assassin protocol and eliminating all witnesses, Edward shows a brief moment of mercy and chooses to spare Oleg's life. This single mistake will ultimately destroy his life.
You're back.
Edward returns to Vancouver to collect his payment for the job, but Serge is nowhere to be found at their usual meeting spot.
Where is he?
Serge isn't here. Look, I haven't heard from him since you saw him.
Before leaving the venue, Edward gives the bartender strict instructions and a message to pass along to Serge, making it clear that he is not happy and does not tolerate delays regarding his paycheck.
Believe me, I will.
Outside of his contract work, Edward lives a carefully constructed double life in Vancouver. To his family and the public, he appears to be an ordinary investment broker and a divorced father trying to maintain a normal relationship with his ex-wife and his young daughter named Taylor.
Taylor's school play is tomorrow. I just wanted to remind you, okay? I shouldn't have called. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Good morning, Edward. Welcome back.
Later that day, he goes to his office to conduct his business as usual, but his secretary informs him that a man named Graham is waiting in his office to discuss potential housing projects.
Hi, Mr. Graham.
Hello, Edward.
Edward treats Graham as a regular client looking for real estate investments, pitching standard and lucrative properties located in mainland China and Australia.
Do you have anything in Hong Kong?
Graham instantly shuts these proposals down and explicitly states he is only interested in a high-end apartment in Hong Kong. This hyperfocus on Hong Kong, coming right after Edward finished the assassination job, makes him incredibly curious and deeply suspicious. Sensing Graham is not an ordinary client, Edward asks if they have ever crossed paths before.
No.
Graham smoothly denies ever knowing Edward, hands him a business card and tells him to call only if those specific Hong Kong apartments become available. Just as Graham walks out of the office, Edward receives the long-awaited message from Serge, confirming that his money is now available for pickup at the bar. When Edward returns to the bar to collect his money, Serge apologizes for the payment delay and hands over the cash.
Wire transfer delay. My mistake. Did you have any problems in Hong Kong?
No.
And you took care of everyone.
Edward looks him in the eye and lies, claiming that no one survived, deliberately hiding the fact that he spared Oleg. Serge then tells Edward that the bosses are very impressed with his work and offers him another hit job, this time in Miami.
What's the matter?
Edward firmly declines future work and tells Serge he is retiring from the contract-killing business to focus on protecting and raising his daughter. Serge hands Edward half of the payment for the new contract, promising that the rest will be given upon completion. Serge guarantees Edward that if he completes this final assignment smoothly, he will be officially released from the syndicate and never contacted again. Edward accepts the Miami assignment, but he becomes highly suspicious of how everyone is suddenly asking about Hong Kong.
And you took care of everyone.
Who are you?
Questions. Something's wrong.
Between Serge's specific questions about survivors and Graham's strange fixation on Hong Kong apartments during their office meeting, Edward knows something is wrong. To figure out who Graham truly is, Edward visits his longtime friend and intelligence contact named Kerr.
Can you run a check on this guy? Said his name was Mr. Graham.
Edward hands over the business card Graham left in his office and asks Kerr to use her resources to dig deep into Graham's background.
Hi, honey.
The following morning, Edward's ex-wife drops off their daughter, Taylor, to spend the weekend with him.
Don't spoil her with treats. Make sure she eats lots of vegetables.
However, Edward must leave Vancouver to complete the Miami contract. To hide his actual business as a hitman, he tells Taylor that he has to go to Miami for a real estate business trip.
I don't like it here. I want to go back to your house.
He leaves her with his girlfriend, promising Taylor that he will return very soon to spend the rest of the weekend with her. Edward then hits the road toward the airport, but he is forced to stop due to unexpected road construction. Suddenly, a group of hitmen opens fire in an attempt to kill him. Edward utilizes his combat skills to eliminate several of the assassins and manages to escape the ambush. Following the attack, Edward instantly realizes that the Russian mob knows exactly where he lives and that the Miami assignment was a setup.
Get out of the apartment.
Edward calls his girlfriend to warn her leave the apartment, but she gets killed in an explosion. Edward finds a crucial note that his girlfriend left him before he departed. The note reveals that she actually took Taylor to Edward's primary estate to stay safe with the nanny. Recognizing the danger, Edward speeds over to his main house. He locates Taylor and the nanny just as a secondary team of assassins launches an ambush on the property. Edward systematically eliminates the thugs and safely escapes the property with both Taylor and the nanny. Knowing that all of his personal properties are entirely compromised, Edward takes Taylor to the residence of his longtime trusted friend Kerr.
Yeah, I promise you're gonna like it. Mrs. Kerr, she's got a big farm and with a barn and lots of animals. I'm going to get Mommy and bring her to you, right?
He comforts a terrified Taylor, promises her that Kerr will keep her safe, and leaves her there so he can go entirely on the offensive against the mob syndicate that betrayed him.
Bar's closed.
What's all this about setting?
Edward goes straight to the bar and confronts Serge, demanding to know who ordered the Miami hit.
Who issued the order?
You know I can't give you that. His name is Turk.
Serge reveals that a man named Tucker ordered the job just moments before a group of rival hitmen storms the venue and opens fire. The gunmen kill both Serge and the bartender, but Edward relies on his elite tactical skills to escape the bar unscathed. Edward arrives at his ex-wife's house in a state of pure panic, desperate to convince Joey and her new husband that they are all in immediate mortal danger. However, Joey and her husband believe that Edward has completely lost his mind and is experiencing a dangerous psychological breakdown.
Help!
When a police car pulls up, Joey runs toward it, hoping to save her from the crazed Edward, only to realize too late that the officers are actually the assassins hunting her ex-husband. Instantly, they shoot Joey's husband in the head when he tries to step in and protect her. Edward immediately leaps into action to save Joey, quickly taking out one assassin, but the remaining thug pins him down in an exhausting hand-to-hand struggle that Edward begins to lose. Just as the assassin is about to deliver a fatal blow, Joey picks up a fallen gun and shoots the thug dead, saving Edward's life before collapsing moments later. Joey manages to put an unconscious and wounded Edward into the vehicle and drives him to a motel, where she begins treating his injuries. The moment Edward wakes up, Joey holds him at gunpoint, demanding to know the truth and the whereabouts of their daughter.
Who are you? Who are you really?
Joey, just lower the gun.
Don't tell me what you didn't I do it instead?
Okay.
Edward successfully de-escalates the tension by assuring her that Taylor is safe, before finally confessing his past.
My real name is Evgeny.
Evgeny what?
Kyrillik.
He reveals that he was a Soviet KGB agent who transitioned into working as a hitman for the Russian mob after the USSR collapsed. He further explains that his employers are now trying to erase him to cover their tracks, but he declares his fierce determination to hunt them down before they can finish the job.
Finish things.
The next day, Edward goes to confront Tucker for answers, but upon arrival, he discovers a gruesome scene. Tucker and everyone else at the residence have already been brutally executed by the syndicate.
This is gonna get worse before it gets better.
Seeking refuge, Edward takes Joey to Kerr's property, where Taylor has been safely hidden away.
You find out anything about this Graham guy?
During a tense conversation at the hideout, Kerr informs Edward that she ran a background check on Mr. Graham and discovered that the man does not exist.
Yeah.
Suddenly Kerr receives a phone call and her tone changes instantly. Realizing that she'd been compromised, Edward springs into action.
Stay there! Stay there!
Edward kills several of Kerr's men to protect his family. Despite his efforts, they soon get cornered.
Don't move, Joey.
You sold me out. I thought we were more than that.
Friendships only last as long as you need. They want the lot of you gone. I'm not going to question them.
But before Kerr can kill Edward, the police arrive on the scene and open fire. Edward uses the chaotic distraction to brutally kill Kerr with a garden fork. Yet, despite killing her, the police successfully arrest him.
Bravo!
Mr. Graham then arrives on the scene and reveals his true identity. He is not a real estate investor, but a high-level CIA agent who has tracked Edward's bloody KGB and mob history for years.
Well, Eddie.
Graham leverages Taylor's safety to deliver a ruthless ultimatum. Edward can walk away free with his family, but only if he agrees to act as a CIA asset and assassinate Vadim, Edward's former KGB comrade who is now the powerful head of the Russian mafia syndicate in the United States.
Vadim is a nasty piece of business.
Despite Joey's desperate pleas for him not to step back into that violent world, Edward realizes he has absolutely no choice and accepts the deal to save his daughter.
Icarus!
Edward subsequently tracks Vadim to his mansion, where Vadim appears very happy to meet him. However, this reception is entirely an act. Vadim knows exactly what has brought Edward to his estate and quickly orders his men to knock him out.
That wasn't my intention to cross you.
But you did!
Take him away.
Vadim then commands his men to execute Edward just outside the house, but Edward reacts with lethal speed.
Find out what's going on.
Edward puts down all of his captors and returns inside the mansion looking for Vadim, ultimately shooting him in the leg once he corners him. Edward finally kills Vadim, only to be immediately held at gunpoint by Oleg. But remembering that Edward had previously spared his life during a past mission in Hong Kong, Oleg returns the favor and spares Edward's life.
This is your lucky day.
As Edward walks away, Oleg chillingly mentions that Mr. Graham sends his regards. The story ends with Edward and his family living in peace in Iowa, with all of his past criminal charges officially dropped. Subscribe for more dramas like this, and don't forget to like this video, it really helps the channel grow.